the Retro Media Talk Podcast with your hosts, Steve and Steve. Awesome.
Hey guys, welcome to Retro Media Talk Podcast. Today we're real excited. We have Steve Lago, we have Mike Gallas, and we have me, another Steve Montgomery. And today we're going to talk about Back to the Future, an iconic film of the 80s, 1985 to be exact. And we're going to talk about our reaction to seeing the film again. I haven't seen this film in probably a few years anyway. And I watched it on Blu-ray a couple nights ago. And I got to tell you, there's some stuff I missed. As many times as I've seen this film, I've missed a lot. I don't know if I wasn't paying real close attention or what, but we're going to go over our experiences watching the film and some good information and some new information that I think a lot of people don't realize about the film and everything that went on, the making of and everything. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Lego.
Oh, you want me to go? All right. So what? My reaction? I mean, it's...
Yeah. How do you think the film held up to you? Do you love the film? Or, whatever?
I mean, yeah, this is one of these movies that I think that, 50 years from now, I think it'll still be like totally watchable. It's like super, it stands like the test of time, because it's just, number one, it's like an 80s movie. So there's a lot of like 80s stuff in it. So it's like, that's like, people are all into the 80s and stuff now. So I think it makes the movie probably even more appealing. Probably if a bunch of young kids were to see this movie now, I think they would totally be in love with it, with Stranger Things and all the retro stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, it's like, this is like the epitome of like a retro movie, right? It's like, it's the 80s, it's the Nike tennis shoes and all the puffy vest he was wearing, the DeLorean.
Yeah, the puffy vest. They're actually in style again.
Yeah. It's like the movies, I mean, it totally stands the test of time. It totally held up. Even though I've seen it a million times, I mean, I'm not like, oh, this is so boring, or you don't lose your interest. It's still a cool, fast-paced, funny, exciting movie for sure.
Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, watching the film, it held my attention a little bit more than the Goonies. To be honest with you,
way more. It
just kind of, the plot is just so thick, and I love the whole, the dad is a nerd getting bullied, and how that whole time gets changed, and that's just a great. It's just got a deeper plot to it, and it makes you think and all that stuff. But one thing I didn't catch, I don't know why. Maybe I did, and I just, my memory's fading. But when he was auditioning in the band, and he was playing, kind of a rocked out version of Power of Love, which I love that song. I did not realize Huey Lewis was the one with the megaphone, and he says, "You're too loud." And they get, booted from the, auditions. I thought that was hilarious.
So do you want to know the backstory on that? Like how Huey got involved?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because he did not want to be in this movie.
Huey?
Yes, he did not want to do it. Because he said that because Bob Gale and then Bob Zemeckis, the book refers to them as Bob and Bob. And Bob loved Huey Lewis, and they wanted him to do a song. And Huey's like, I don't know how to write for film, so I think I'm going to pass.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. He's like, just give us your next big song, your next song that you write, hand it over. And it just happened to be Power of Love.
Wow.
Because Huey read the script and he's like, well, there's no like really love interest in here. So this song, they probably won't even want it. So that's the backstory on how he got the song in there. And Bob loved the song so much. He's like, I got to have this. In fact, do you want a cameo? And he's like, no. He goes, no, I don't want to do anything, else. And so they kept talking and they finally convinced him to do it, but he said, if I do this, you got to disguise me.
Really?
Because I guess he didn't feel like he was, I don't know, he might have been camera shy or whatever.
He had a pair of glasses on. That was his disguise.
Yeah, that was his disguise, yeah.
So he was trying to be like, Clark Kent.
That's hilarious. But no, I mean, for some reason, I don't remember catching that when I watched it all those times before. Did you guys catch that right away? Like back in the day?
Yeah.
It was him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I did and I forgot I did. I don't know.
So then they came back to him because, they needed a song for the ending credits. And he finally showed him some footage of the movie, and then he went back and reread the script. And he's like, oh, I can write something to this. And so that's how Back in Time came into existence.
Yeah, two great songs.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, so the budget was $19 million, and it grossed $388.8 million, apparently, what I was looking up online. So that was the what was it? Highest grossing film, obviously, of 1985.
Hey, you guys know the high school where they shot it? You know where they shot that stuff at the high school?
No.
It was Whittier High School in California, and I do believe Michael Sweet and Oz Fox went to that high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I hear like a weird noise in the background.
You hear a noise?
You hear it?
Let me see.
I don't hear it anymore.
You don't hear it?
No, I don't either.
It's gone.
Oh, that's weird. I couldn't hear it on my end, so I wonder if it was my mic.
Maybe. I don't hear it now.
Yeah, did you turn your vibrator off?
Nah. I don't have anything running in the background either, so I don't know. Weird.
All right.
But anyway, so another thing that was weird was I didn't realize, we talked about this with the Goonies, with Spielberg presenting Goonies, but he had actually wrote the Goonies, wrote the script or whatever. It said written by Spielberg in the credits. But this movie, he only was executive producer, which I thought was strange because I thought this has got to be a Spielberg written movie, Well, the short end of that is they had Bob Gale wrote this movie or started to have the idea for it way back in 1975. And so they were trying to find somebody to make this, and everybody turned them down. And so they went to Spielberg because, Zemeckis had worked with Spielberg on a couple other projects. And so they thought, he might have a lot more weight to be able to get them in the door. And it just took a really long time. Bob Gale wrote the screenplay. Basically how it happened is he went home. I don't know if his father had passed or something, but he was at home and he was going through all his father's things. And his idea was, oh man, he's looking through the yearbooks and he was wondering, okay, was my dad like a nerd, a jerk, whatever during high school? And that's what kind of triggered the idea. Yeah, that's pretty cool information. Yeah, I like that because it was written so like brilliantly, because you got to really think about time travel movies, like how would this work and everything. And even though when you boil down what a great script it is. It's almost kind of creepy too. You know, going back in time, running into your mom and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, this is weird. So it's almost like maybe it was a little controversial, you know, when they, you know, when you put it down on paper. Like if that was a serious movie, it wouldn't have worked, I don't think.
No.
But the way they did it, making it, you know, a comedy and blah, blah, blah. It's a great, it's got a perfect script.
Well, they were worried about that. They were worried about that. Yeah, the whole scene with the
purple underwear?
Marty and his mother. Yeah, that was they were really worried about that being really risque.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking watching them. Like, you know, when you boil it down, that's kind of a creepy. The part that I really like is like when she goes to kiss him. I feel like I'm kissing my brother or something. So, I mean, that was cool. I'm glad that there wasn't an attraction or something toward that, because that would have made it real creepy. So,
right.
Well, it's a miracle that this movie even got made. I mean, if you really dig in, if you go on Amazon, if you really like Back to the Future, get this book, Back to the Future, The Ultimate Visual History. It is awesome. And it comes with mementos, okay? So it has the envelope and the note that Marty wrote out to Doc in the 50s diner. It has the Jaws poster from part 2. It has the faded picture of all the kids, you know?
Is it what is it, like a tabletop book or?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big book. And it gives you all the history of all 3 movies.
I think I have that book.
It is incredible.
I think I have the book because I have that big Friday 13th tabletop book. Okay. And I saw that Back to the Future. I swear I got that book. I just never read it.
Oh man, it's awesome.
Now I think
read the
about
whole
it.
thing.
Yeah, we'll provide a link in the podcast description if people want to check that out.
So the first draft of the script is way different than what you see in the movie. Just to give you a couple differences, Marty and Doc were actually supposed to be video pirating. They had a video pirating business for videotapes.
Okay.
That's what they're I guess what they were going to do is use the extra money to fund Doc's experiments. Mm-hmm. And so he had just figured out an invention using some sort of power converter to turn radiation into energy. And then Marty he somehow spills Coke in this machine, and it sends this monkey whose name is Shemp into the future by 2 minutes. So that was the original script, and then it kind of goes on to where this was supposed to be 1982 to 1952, because like I said, they've had this idea for a while, but they couldn't find really any takers. The rest of the script gets really, you know, it would not have been a really good movie because it has something to do with they have to somehow there is a flying car in here, but Coca-Cola becomes the power source of the machine and stuff. And
that's where I'm kind of hit. I wanted to head next, not to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
The product placement was hilarious in this movie.
Yeah, there was tons of it.
And I made a list as I was watching. I might have missed something, but here's what I got.
Okay.
I'll just go down the list, but it's funny because his mom, you know, was drinking, I forget what brand of vodka, but there was also a Bud Light sitting there on the table. So you had Bud Light, you had a vodka brand. Then you had at the mall, no other stores were shown but JCPenney. So JCPenney must have had a monopoly on that one. That was the only lit up signs, you know. And you had Diet Pepsi. Then you had Pepsi Free.
Yeah. And you had Tab.
Then, of course, you had DeLorean. That was a huge product placement, right? Wurlitzer was the jukebox. Tab, like when he said, do you got a tab? You know, that was a product placement. Calvin Klein was a big one. Miller High Life was another one in there. Cherry Coke, which you were talking about Coke. That was only words spoken, but it was Cherry Coke that was said. Toyota and Bank of America. That's all I found. There might have been more I might have missed, but that's what. Well,
and Nike too. I mean, they made
Yeah, I got a thing on Nike. But going back to Pepsi, the reason why they chose Pepsi over Coke is because I guess in 1955 the Pepsi logo was different than in 1985, and that's what they wanted. They wanted to show the difference.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they picked some of the stuff were picked because the logos were different in the future. But going back to Nike, okay, this is a long story, but I don't know if you guys know this, but the entire movie was shot halfway through without Michael J. Fox. It was a different actor.
Right.
Well, was Nike in the first one? I'm trying to remember. I don't.
But the first movie?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the Nike. I don't know.
The Nike got in there because what happened was Eric Stoltz was the guy that played Marty.
Right.
And so the short story is, I mean, he was physically tough on all the actors. Like, there's a story with the guy that plays Biff, Thomas Wilson. He injured him during that scene where they're in the cafeteria and he pushes him.
Yeah.
I guess he bruised his collarbones really bad, and he kept telling him to stop doing it.
Eric Stoltz?
Yeah, and he wouldn't stop.
He was the one?
He was the main. He was the.
Man, I wonder what happened to that footage.
Yeah, it's on. I think you can.
I've
find
seen
it
some
somewhere.
of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Where did they release it somewhere?
I think they put a special edition out a few years back.
Really?
I think they had some of that footage on there.
Really?
But I have seen some of it like on YouTube or somewhere as well.
Yeah. So what happened was the guy that go ahead and gave the go for the movie was Sid Sheenberg, and he was the head of Universal, and he loved this guy. And so Bob wanted Michael J. Fox, but they couldn't get him because he was on Family Ties.
Right.
And his TV mom at the time was pregnant with twins. And so it was like almost impossible. He had no schedule for this movie. And the guy at Universal was like, you guys got to start this. This has to come out July of 1985 or we're not doing it. So they had no choice. They had to find this other guy, hire this other guy and start filming. And halfway through, I mean, you were up to January of 85 right now because they started in November of 84. But January, Zemeckis started going and was viewing all the stuff. They were trying to put stuff together. And he was like, they were like stunned. He showed Steven the dailies, and they just looked at each other in silence. They're like, this is not working. I mean, the guy's not funny. It was just like they said that he was in an entirely different movie. So
sounds like an Octopussy moment.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It sounded like the perfect time to say Octopussy.
That's cool. So it was like, okay, you've shot half this movie already. You're in serious trouble because nothing is gelling with this kid. And there was other issues with him too. He was like wanting to do his own thing, and it was just really weirded out. And so they had to make a decision. Luckily for them, that person that was pregnant had came back to work, and that opened Fox up for evenings, so they could shoot in the evenings if they wanted to use them. But it cost them another $4 million to reshoot everything.
You know, one thing I noticed about the film, watching it again, I mean, I really got into it. I mean, it was like fantastic. The picture quality and everything at HD was just awesome. But the tension in the end when he's trying to get back, you know, to present time.
Right.
Dude, I forgot how kind of unnerving that was, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh, shoot, man. He dropped it. Even though, you know, he goes back, you know, to the present, to the future.
Oh, it was brilliant. And going back to when Fox came in, I just wrote this little note. So Bob decided that they were missing a good opportunity for humor. So they gave Fox his own choices for how they wanted his clothes, his character to look. So we inadvertently contributed to the most long-lasting synergies between production and a well-known brand. Stoltz wore Converse high tops, but the production designer had forgot to bring them to the fitting. So Zemeckis looked at Fox and said, "What are you wearing?" And he happened to be wearing Nikes. So that's how that came about.
But was Nike in the first film? I know it was in the second film.
It was.
Wasn't it in the second film when he was riding the hoverboard?
Yes. He had the pump up ones.
Yeah. They made those.
But like literally, they like they have like a couple shots where they're like on his shoes.
Oh man, see that's the thing. I missed that one. Out of all those product placements, I missed that one.
It would have been during the skateboarding sequence,
right? And I kept looking for a skateboard like brand or something that he might be using. I thought maybe that would be like a product placement, but I didn't see any that I could remember.
Right, and so they tried to get the shoes that he was wearing because they wanted like 25 pairs for him, and they were discontinued. They couldn't get them. And they were sold out everywhere. So Nike personally made within a week 25 pairs of those shoes and shipped them to him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing. Let's. I want to talk about Robert Zemeckis real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot how many great films he did do besides Back to the Future. And one thing that me and Lego had talked about Raiders of the Lost Ark was like the other movies that were kind of along the lines of Raiders of the Lost Ark afterwards. The wannabe movies, but there was one that I really liked that came out that was kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Romancing the Stone.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I didn't realize he did that film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Silvestri did the music for both of those movies.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's understandable. You find a good composer, you want to, use them as much as you can.
Yeah.
But, then I was looking at his films, and I know you like this movie, Mike. I don't know about Steve, but what about The Frighteners?
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I thought Peter Jackson did that one.
Well, did he write it?
That was Peter Jackson.
You want to look that up?
Yeah, hold on.
That's the beauty of the internet. I don't know. For some reason, that's a movie came up as him doing it, but maybe he wrote it or something.
I'm looking on IMDb. Yeah, Peter Jackson directed it.
Okay. Well, what did Robert Zemeckis do? He wrote a lot of Tales from the Crypt episodes. Robert Zemeckis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he wrote The Frighteners, I wonder.
Fran Walsh and Peter Jackson. It doesn't say anything about
what? Oh, God.
Yeah.
We always got a
no, wait a minute. He was an executive producer.
Oh, exactly. He was a producer then. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the other movie that I really liked came out in 1980, and it was a comedy. Oh, that's good. Get the ring in there. You guys remember Used Cars with
yes, with Kurt Russell?
Yes. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's that's in the book. And
it is?
They talk about that, early on.
That movie's cracks me up, man.
Because they looked at a ton of people to play Marty.
Okay, so he did direct that one. I just want to make sure my information is correct. But yeah, Used Cars. Obviously, he did 2 and 3 of Back to the Future. Do you guys remember 1941 with John Belushi?
Yeah, huge bomb
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't he do it? Or he had something to do with it, I guess.
I don't know, but all these guys, they all went to USC together.
Oh, man. Oh, it was written. It was directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Robert Zemeckis. Okay. So, yeah, they must have been friends for a long time. I wonder.
Yeah, they all went to school together.
Oh, yeah. Well, whoever came out of that school, man, they were like the best of the best, Jeez. Lucas, Spielberg. What was the Lucas, Spielberg? They all came out of the same school, right? So
yeah, they all went
Zemeckis
to USC.
And I don't know who else, but
George Lucas.
Well, yeah, Lucas, Spielberg. But there was somebody else came out of that.
Well, Bob Gale, the writer, he went to school with those guys too.
Did he? Wow.
Yeah.
Another film, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Castaway, The Polar Express. I don't know if he directed those now or wrote them, but one movie he did was The Walk. Do you guys ever see that one?
What is it?
The Walk.
The Walk. Yeah, I never heard of it.
That is a great movie, but it's phenomenal in 3D. It's a true story about this guy that did a high wire across the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. You guys should watch that. I mean, even if you're not watching it 3D, it still gives you like chills, because the special effects were great. But yeah, Robert Zemeckis
didn't he also
direct it? Yeah.
Didn't Zemeckis also direct Octopussy?
I was just going to say that.
No. The word is he really wanted to, but they wouldn't give it to him. No. The Octopussy inside jokes. Yeah. And then Forrest Gump, I guess. That's another hit. Did he direct that one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah. All right. So, one inside little story on Lea Thompson, who we all know from a lot of 80s films and stuff. There was this guy that his name was Dean Williams. He was a Hollywood photographer. He's got a big, long list. I got his thing right here. But anyway, we met him. He lives in Springfield, Illinois. We were meeting with him because we were going to do this project, Uncharted Exploration, that TV show where Gallas was involved with also for a short time. And we were meeting with him at his house. Dude, this dude had... He was a photographer on Conan. He was a still photographer, right? But anyway, he was on Blues Brothers. He was on Starman. He was on all these huge 80 hits: Caddyshack, Batman Returns, Backdraft, Rocky V, Weird Science. But anyway, I could go on. But it was funny. I was looking at, he took us down his basement, and his basement is just full of, movie posters, all the movies that he's been on. And then this memorabilia room, it had everything from the Caddyshack ball to just the Conan sword, everything. And then on the one wall, he had I've got pictures of all this. He had pictures of all these celebrities. And one caught my eye. And it was Lea Thompson. It said, "Dean, you're a sex god. Love, Lea." And I'm like, I'm like, what? So I go, hey, Dean, did you know Lea Thompson? Oh, yeah, we dated. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. It was just the funniest thing because I'm like, a lot of guys thought Lea was pretty hot back then. But he said, yeah, they dated for a little while. And
he didn't give you any stories?
I couldn't pry it out of him. I said, dude, you need to write a book and tell your stories. He goes, oh, I got a lot of them, man. But he was a pretty cool guy, but he had some funny stories about Caddyshack. Can you believe that? He lives in Springfield. He's like, yeah, you'd be surprised who lives around here. I'm like, really? In Illinois here? But, I guess a lot of people did come out of Illinois. I think Robert Zemeckis came out of Chicago. I could be wrong. Did he?
Yeah, and Bob Gale is from St. Louis.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's funny, isn't it? So a lot of Midwestern. I mean, look at John.
Cusack's from Chicago.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the director, John Hughes.
Yeah, yep.
And he filmed, I think, all his movies up in Chicago.
Around the Chicago area.
Yeah, the suburbs there. But, so that's pretty cool. I love John Hughes movies.
The 1955 Doc Brown house.
Yeah.
That is a real house. It's called the Blacker House, and it's in Pasadena. They hired this lady to play Ma Peabody. And remember the lady, the guy comes out with the shotgun, and then they're all looking at the comic book.
Oh, yeah.
And then the spaceman comes out. And so she had sprained her ankle or something, so they had to have a stunt double dress up as her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. So, what are your favorite parts of the movie?
I'll tell you my favorite scene, hands down, right now. It's the opening scene with the clocks.
The opening scene?
Yes. The reason why is that is all one shot.
Yeah.
That's how they wanted it to be. And it was...
That's a crazy scene, yeah.
When you read the book, you'll appreciate it a little bit more, but they had to elaborately set all that stuff and time it. And it's like they had, I don't know how many takes they did, but it's one shot. And there's a clock. It's a famous clock that Zemeckis found. Oh, it's the guy's name was Harold Lloyd. He was a silent movie star. And he's on the clock, hanging from it.
Yeah.
And so, that was supposed to be, Doc. And so, right. Yeah, I love that scene where the camera just, goes with this way, and then just everything just kind of fits together. The movie's all about time. So I love that shot.
One thing I forgot about the movie, it's weird because I must have short memory loss. When I watch a movie, I just kind of forget, after a couple weeks, what happened. So I could watch a movie I could watch the same movie every couple months and it'd be probably new to me. Weird. But I forgot that Doc got shot and killed. I totally forgot. I'm like, how did I forget this part? Weird.
And that's actually in the original script, too.
Yeah, and I love that part. But when you're first watching that film,
right,
and he dies, it's like, they better bring him back. You know what I mean? I don't know if I got a favorite scene at all, except for maybe one of my favorite scenes is when Marty goes into the restaurant and sees his dad for the first time. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one.
There's so many good scenes.
Yeah, I love the 55 stuff, seeing how clean everything was, seeing the cars, hearing the music, and it's just, we really can't relate because we didn't experience that.
Well, I think, I always said if I could go back in time and live in another decade, because we lived in the best decades there were, I think, as far as growing up. We grew up in the 70s and the 80s. Those are probably they're the most colorful, changing decades. I think that really set a standard. But if I could go back, I think the 50s would be the next best decade to live in. When did Elvis hit the scene? When did rock and roll hit the scene? Was that mid-50s?
Mid-50s, exactly where, that's one of the things that they talked about is the two things that they felt that they could bring to the 50s that were going on in the 80s was one, rock and roll, and the other thing was skateboarding.
Yeah. So I would say, 50s for me, the introduction to rock and roll, that had to be a good time. Even though I take a multivitamin, I also like to take superfoods. And the best superfood I found on the market that tastes just amazing is Brick House Nutrition Field of Greens. Real organic superfood. One scoop of Field of Greens gives you the full spectrum of colors with fruits, veggies, herbs, spices, and more. Helps with your overall well-being by aiding in antioxidation, lipid metabolism, and glucose metabolism. Since Field of Greens is made from real foods, it's technically not a supplement. This is just pure whole foods, guys, and you can get a discount right now by using coupon code HEALTHYLIFE. Just plug that coupon HEALTHYLIFE before checkout in the coupon section and get our exclusive discount. You have to try Field of Greens from brickhousenutrition.com.
Going back to what you said earlier about how well the script was written.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd had said that he basically said that same thing. He said he credits the way the script was written because it was key to be able to impart all the information necessary to the audience.
Yeah, because that was one movie that doesn't, some of those time travel type movies, they can go over your head a little bit. You get confused.
Well, they used Doc Brown as he was the guy that explained everything to the audience.
Yeah,
right. That's why he enjoyed having it written so he could memorize it.
Yeah, and it was delivered perfectly.
Yeah, and they didn't make it too complicated. There wasn't like a whole lot of loose ends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. To think about. I mean, they would show like the disappearing picture or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I did love that.
And remember, everything is heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awesome when he's playing with the band up there, and then there's a couple things on that. Okay, the first thing, I'll tell you about the band. Michael J. Fox actually played guitar on that. I was wondering if he really knew how to play guitar.
He didn't sing. He didn't sing, but he did play guitar, and he told the director of photography, Dean Cundy, at the time, he's like, you can get all the wide shots you want. You can zoom in and get my hands because I'm going to be playing the song note by note.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Because I was like, man, they must have really taught him where to put his fingers and everything because
that's what she
said. He was going to do the time. He was going to just practice like crazy. He was going to practice like crazy and get every note down.
Huh. Wow. That's awesome. Well, that's a little extra curriculum for an actor.
The dance sequence was actually shot at the Hollywood United Methodist Church.
Was Michael J. Fox, was he dating anybody at the time? Was Lea Thompson dating? Does it say anything about that?
What, like each other? Like people on the same set or what? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, was there ever a love interest between the two?
They don't go into that.
Yeah. I didn't know. You know how it is.
She was extremely PO'd when they let Eric Stoltz go, though.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she was not happy.
It would have sucked with him.
Yeah.
Honestly. He's a ginger on top of it all.
The thing that really pissed the heck out of Robert Zemeckis, and it drove him up the wall, was working with Crispin Glover.
Really?
He was the hardest person to deal with. He
Well,
rarely,
that's why they didn't have him back for the second movie.
Yeah, he rarely did what Zemeckis wanted him to do. He actually did the opposite. There's that one scene where Marty's sitting down and he's like, "I didn't know you did anything creative," you know?
Yeah.
And he just kept bouncing back and forth in his chair, and then messing with his hair.
Oh my god!
And they had to do it over and over, and he would not listen. And then, you know, at the end of the movie, they got him. He said the hardest thing to do was to have him hold a tennis racket and wear a polo.
Oh my god!
He refused to do it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, wait. So
he's an eccentric dude for sure.
Yeah. What else was he in? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, he had like a long break, and then he was in that movie Willard, like about 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was like his return to film, I think.
Is he still doing anything?
I think so. I think he's like an even weirder version of like Johnny Depp. So he only takes like weird roles.
Oh, okay.
But I thought he did an awesome job.
I did too. He had that.
Yeah, he was really good for that character. Now, for the second one, he demanded like twice the amount that he wanted. He wanted to be an A-list actor, and they were like, "Forget it."
What'd they have in the second one? I haven't watched that one so long.
They used somebody else with makeup and back of the headshots and stuff like that.
Yeah, he kind of looked like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
But it's funny too, because the very first day before they started shooting the practice sessions, he showed up and he shaved the sides of his head.
Oh my god!
And everybody was freaking out because no one approved it.
Jeez. Yeah, I see his he's been in a lot of movies. But yeah.
But nothing noteworthy really.
Nothing like Back to the Future, I think.
Yeah, that was like probably like his biggest movie ever.
Says he was in The Doors. What did he play in The Doors? I don't know what. Oh, he played Andy Warhol. Well, imagine that.
I would say, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Oh man. Yeah, his last film was some smiley face killers in 2020. So sounds like a B movie.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about some of the music?
Oh, the music's phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember when I saw this for the first time, that was the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to run out and get the soundtrack. Unfortunately, on the score side, it only had 2 tracks, but it had 2 really good tracks. You had the main theme, and then you had that whole clock tower procession, which I listened over and over. But all the rest of the songs on there, you know, the Huey Lewis and the rest of the songs were great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Huey Lewis, I mean, there were so many good bands that groups or whatever that put out so many songs for movies that they don't even have them anymore. You watch a movie, they don't have a good song like that anymore. You know,
well, who's gonna do it?
I don't know. It's just
not today's pop scene.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no like good standout songs anymore. Whatever happened to good songwriting? It's just
because in the 80s, almost every comedy that came out had some sort of good song.
I know.
Well, damn near every movie.
Yeah, every movie. Because I mean, think about it. I mean, look at Lost Boys. We got to do that movie too. But look at the songs on that. I mean, it just had a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
that Lost Boys is probably one of the best.
Yeah,
man, the other one that I listened to over and over again is Rocky 4.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
That always got you pumped up. I think didn't we used to listen to that before a wrestling match sometimes? I think I did. Yeah.
Well, you remember that training montage?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just found they did a a
That's
rock.
Vince DiCola, isn't it, or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, check this out. I found 3 tracks, and one of them is the training montage. They did a live concert, like, I don't know, a few years ago, overseas. I think it might have been Spain. But it's a symphonic version with the electronics, and it sounds amazing. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Yeah, that's a gag.
I listen to that, every once in a while, and I'm just amazed at how good it sounds. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of disappointed they haven't put that on Blu-ray yet. The new Rocky,
Yeah.
Rocky
director's cut or whatever.
I think it's just Rocky versus Drago. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, they got it streaming, but they haven't put it on disc yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the new cut.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see that cut because I've been wanting to watch the original, but I kind of want to see the new cut.
I can't imagine it being that much different, honestly.
It is. I haven't seen it, but I watched the behind the scenes. It was like an hour and something. And Stallone said the reason why he's doing this is because the time that movie came out, everything was MTV. It was so like fast paced and everything. And he just said it was like a montage movie. And so what his goal is to take different parts, different takes of scenes and slow everything down. That's what his main purpose for doing this was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was right. I mean, they had the his training sequence and Drago's training sequence, and then he's driving the sports car after.
Yeah.
It was just like it was all like all these videos, right? They were like music videos and to make the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
But it was awesome.
I know. I still love that movie.
Hey guys, I gotta take a leak. Keep talking.
Okay.
Octopussy. Yeah, I was just reading somewhere that he's trying to get ownership back of the original Rocky, but I guess
I saw that.
Irwin, what's his name? Irwin Winkler, or is that who it was?
Yes, that's it.
Doesn't want to give it up. Which, I mean, why would he?
Was he gonna pass it down to his kids?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Stallone's got enough dough.
That's true. You wonder then maybe he's got some sort of future plans or something that he wants to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like, Stallone just wanted to get it back before he croaked, I think, saying he wanted to like have that legacy for his family or whatever, but
Well, he's the one that did most of the work.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wrote the story, he fought to star in it.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people that can do all that stuff.
And I mean, he made so much money for United Artists. That's who was the studio, I think, at the time. So I mean, in a way, I mean, I kind of see where he's coming from, but
do you know who else made United Artists a lot of money?
Well, the Bond movies were United Artists, weren't they?
Octopussy.
That's right, man. Hell
yeah, it was all the Bond movies.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else that was on United Artists, honestly. Big.
Me neither. I just remember that theme when it came on,
Yes.
I'm back. What theme?
Oh, the United Artists theme.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the lights would kind of roll through the UA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
There's that one scene when he's in 1955 and he hides the DeLorean and he comes out and he's trying to stop that car. And there's that crazy lady in the car. She's going, "Don't stop, Wilbur." And she keeps going on. I can't tell what she's saying.
I don't know, but yeah, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. And Billy Zane was one of the guys in Biff's little gang.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even recognize him. I love the 3D glasses.
Oh yeah, that's a
great.
classic.
That is classic.
I don't know if I should mention this, but my avatar in Pokemon Go has 3D glasses on.
Oh yeah,
Just for that. Just
Yeah,
because
I
I
mean-
love that so much.
oh yeah. I mean, 3D was big in the 50s and it
Yeah.
was big in the 80s. You know, so
Did you know that the person that almost got the Marty McFly role before those other two was C. Thomas Howell?
oh really?
Yes.
He would have been okay, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. He probably would have been okay. But I mean, you just can't beat Michael J. Fox. I mean,
No way.
He just, and plus, it makes more sense, you know, being a little, you know, kind of scrawny guy. You know, his dad's a nerdy guy, and you know he's tougher than his dad, obviously. But yeah, it's just that whole thing with the dad becoming standing up for himself. I love that, man. You know,
Yeah.
that was great.
Well, it changes everything around.
I think they should have used Gary Coleman.
Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul,
Paul
Pee-wee?
Rubens as Biff.
is that Pee Wee? That
Yeah.
yeah.
Spanky.
Oh gosh.
No, but I guess, you know, Thomas Wilson, the guy that played Biff, I mean, the entire crew absolutely loved the guy.
What was he in? Was he in anything else after that?
I don't know. If he was, it was small.
Man, that's weird.
I know he's like a super religious guy.
Really?
Is he? Oh wow.
Yeah. I was reading that, or I saw something a while back, like that he's totally unlike the Biff role.
Oh yeah, totally. He's like super nice guy.
Wow. Well, I guess he was somewhere. He was in Silverado. I don't know where. And Pearl Harbor, Young Flyer. I don't know. He was an Augie in Silverado. Well, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah,
That was a great movie though.
That is a good movie.
But I don't see anything after.
They did a good job with him when he becomes, you know, the Biff of
The
Back
old
to the
Biff.
Future Part 2. Oh, the old one too. But I mean,
Yeah.
man, he scared the heck out of me in that one. Like when he becomes, you know, the 40s, 50s Biff.
Yeah.
Which one? He was in last.
Basically when he's in the second movie.
Well, I mean, we'll have to talk about the second movie later.
Right.
But I wonder if we should watch 2 and 3 and just put them together. You know,
We could, because they shot those two together.
Right.
we should.
Either or.
Yeah.
I think, in my personal opinion, I think 2 is the best one.
I love to.
I love 2 too. Yeah, I mean,
1 is obviously, you know, it's really, really, really good. But I think 2's my favorite for sure.
I think 2 is my favorite. I can't say it's better than the first one, but I think it is my favorite too.
And it's got Elizabeth Shue in it
Yeah, true.
for like 3 minutes, right? And she sleeps on the porch the whole movie.
Oh,
Well, she goes to the future. She's got a couple scenes, you know, in the future.
Right, and then she passes, and she faints. Right, yeah. They put her on the porch, and then we don't see her till the end of the movie.
oh yeah, you're right. Well, I'm gonna have to watch it again, and I haven't seen the third one in ages.
So going back to the first one, you know, by the end of the movie, he comes back, and then he's got that little processor on the back of the car,
Yes,
which I thought was pretty interesting.
The what on the back?
Processor, you know, Mr. Fusion.
Oh, you messed with. I was going to say, what was that called? Mr. Fusion. Yeah.
Mr. Fusion.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they had to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because you know it was a big deal how we got the whatever the uranium from the terrorists before,
Plutonium.
or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So they had to figure out a way for this card to be able to still do its time travel without having to worry about acquiring that stuff. So
Well, here's a little tidbit about my neighbor. My neighbor has a DeLorean in his garage.
Yeah.
Will it go back to the future?
I don't know, but if I had that car, I would paint it exactly the same way, fix it up. I mean, it's a gorgeous car, and he's got it in his garage, and he might hear this podcast sometime. And yeah, but if I was him, hint, hint, fix the car up, paint it the same color, and drive it around town with Back to the Future logos on the side. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, I think the whole catch with DeLoreans were that they were stainless steel. They didn't have paint on them.
Right.
So they all
exactly.
they all look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's red.
There's a line in there because Doc says, he says, why did you build, a time machine out of a DeLorean? And he's like, the stainless steel construction keeps everything intact.
Right. But they still painted them, right?
Yeah,
No.
some people did, because I remember seeing
people
around
Well, yeah.
town.
Because he's got a red one.
But from
Yeah,
the factory, they strictly keep stainless steel.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, because I've seen a red one driving around.
Around our area?
I mean,
In the 90s.
I mean, if I had one, I would want it to be painted too, just for the fact that, stainless steel gets all, you know how it gets.
Yeah.
It's all funky looking and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would definitely want to paint it, but it would be sweet. It would be sweet. You should have talked to your neighbor, and you should have been able to do the podcast live from his DeLorean.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, we have to do a video one then, so people
That's
can see
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's I about shit bricks when I saw it. I mean,
Is his license plate out of time?
no, but I would do everything I could, because my dream car, right? My dream car is something out of a movie, and like there's this guy that drives a Jeep exactly like Jurassic Park. He's got the whole thing and everything.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Painted perfectly. I mean, I and then there's a Ghostbusters car I've seen. And I mean, it's like, oh man, dude, these guys got exactly what I want. A car
Kit?
out of them. Oh gosh, Kit would be awesome. Can you imagine? See, I'm not into all these new cars, like whatever. I want a car that's cool, that would be
Like the Mystery Machine?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be
it's
awesome.
iconic. Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot.
In fact, I think I saw somebody with a van that said Mystery Machine on around. But yeah, I mean, something like that
the
would
biggest car growing up
killer.
that I can remember was, the Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh yeah. That would be a good car. That would be a cool car.
And then you had, the Dodge Charger, which is Dukes of Hazzard.
And then you had the Dukes of Hazzard. Can you imagine? That would be
Herbie the Love Bug?
Kirby Love. Yeah, there's so many cool cars that I would want to have.
Yeah, James Bond always had a different car too.
Can you imagine having the Moonraker? Oh man.
Yeah, is that the one that went underwater?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the Octopussy Mobile.
Man, can you imagine though, drive around a Moonraker? I don't even know what kind of car or what they made that out of. But that would have to be.
I think it was Astra something. I'd have to look it up.
Was it an Aston Martin?
I don't know. Let's see. It was a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Hey guys, do you want to get an exclusive 10% off Entertainment Earth? This is the most abundant pop culture merchandise site on the net. You gotta check it out. Everything from action figures, collectibles, exclusives, all kinds of toys. You have to check this out, guys. And you can get an exclusive 10% off with our coupon code and special URL, all put together at PopEnvyShop.com. PopEnvyShop.com. If it doesn't work the first time, just refresh with our link at PopEnvyShop.com. Everything in your cart should go down to 10% off.
Going back to the Future,
Yeah.
In this book, there's actually the Hill Valley High tardy slip. Date 10/25/85, 8:40 a.m. Has been tardy for the following reason: slacker.
That's right. Slacker McFly.
Yep. The final scene that they finished was the scene where Marty goes to Doc's garage, I guess, in the very beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. And they have that scene with they filmed the clock, and then they filmed him with the amp, turning the amp up. That was the final scene that they filmed, and it wrapped on April 26, 1985. And was supposed to be released in July, which not a lot of time to get that thing done.
Do you guys remember when you first saw Back to the Future? Because
yes.
I cannot remember it.
Yes, I remember.
What was it? Where was it?
Where was it? I think I saw it at Westlake.
Okay.
I saw it when it came out on VHS.
Okay.
Yeah,
I cannot remember. I'm sure I went to the theater to see it, but I just can't remember where.
I went with Kurt again. We had both gone. We had seen the Goonies, and then we went and saw Back to the Future.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, where was I? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know where I saw it. Strange. But anyway. Yeah, so have you guys like bought every edition that came out, or?
I just bought the 4K, but I can't watch it because I have an Xbox that'll do it, but my TV does not have HDR.
Okay. Hey, you know what I wanted to get was that documentary. Did anybody see the documentary on Back to the Future?
Which one?
Yes.
It's called Back in Time, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that. It's great.
Okay, I haven't seen that. Is that on? That's not on any of the editions, right? I haven't checked, but
I think it might be on like the latest one they put out.
Let me check my
4K one, because I want to see that. I know it's streaming on something, or it was. It might be. They might be charging now. I don't know. But it used to be on Prime, I think, or one of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's on this one.
Because, I mean, they're wanting $18 for that documentary.
Really?
Yeah, and I won't pay that.
Is it streaming anywhere?
It used to be, but I used to have it on a list, but I don't know which. I thought it was Prime, but I'm not sure. And I haven't watched it, so it kind of sucks because maybe I would have learned some stuff I could have talked. We could have talked about on there.
I saw a documentary. I don't know if that's the same one because this one was like a fan documentary and it was more on like the restoration of the DeLoreans.
I don't know. It says the documentary film Back in Time is a look at the real impact the Back to the Future movies made on our culture. Tightly focused documentary shows that what was once a little idea became truly amazing. I don't know. I guess it has
came
them
out
all
in 2015.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I've seen this.
It looks like they all give interviews.
Yeah, it says it's free on Amazon.
Oh, it is still on there then. Okay, cool.
I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, I might watch that then tonight or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they got updated photos of everybody. Are you looking at this?
Where are you seeing that at?
I just typed in Back in Time documentary on Google. They have Claudia Wells, who played the first Jennifer. They have her updated picture. Oh, Christopher Lloyd. He's bald.
Well, shoot, that was like 7 years ago now, that documentary.
Yeah.
It's probably 8 years when they filmed it.
Yeah, who knows? Oh, it says I've already watched it.
You did? Oh.
Well,
supposedly. Guess you did.
I don't know. I don't remember it, so I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah.
I love the chimes for the score. Like, it doesn't really come in until Back to the Future 2 when they flash the date what day it is and the time, and it has those little chimes that come in. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's almost like, they're getting you caught up to speed.
Yeah.
And I always thought that the Back to the Future logo was one of the best logos ever.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
That's what really caught my attention when I saw that, a poster or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It really is one of the most iconic type of logos that really are a snapshot of the 80s. You see Back to the Future, you think 80s. So.
Yeah, I think that's why we like it so much, is because we grew up in that era.
Yeah.
We understood it.
But a lot of kids now, I mean, there's a fashion out there now I'm seeing that's all 80s. It's crazy.
Yeah, my kids love this movie. My youngest wants to watch it like all the time.
Yeah, and so can you remember a film your mom and dad liked that you loved? I can't.
No.
I mean, from their generation, when they're growing up, they're all like, oh, God, that's old. Yeah, no, me either. Like my mom would probably like, now I can appreciate it now, but back then, her watching like some of the old movies, like old black and white movies, I'm like, ooh, I don't like it,
My parents watched a lot of Bond movies.
Yeah. But I'm talking when they grew up. Like that was a movie you grew up.
Yeah,
and, their movies that they grew up with were like, the old 50s type, movies, and you would have been like, ugh,
there was a few. There's a few that my parents, I think, saw when they were younger that I liked. I think.
Really? Okay.
Like the Blob. Like the Blob.
Yeah, the Blob,
The Thing, the original Thing.
Yeah.
But, some of those end up on Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. But those movies, when I was younger, I hated. I would not give them a chance. Nowadays, I do love them. My mom would watch It's a Wonderful Life or maybe her favorite is Scrooge or something like that. Christmas movies.
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls.
And I love them now, but back then I didn't want to give them a chance.
And what about The Sound of Music?
Oh, well, that still is a bad movie to me.
I mean, the hills come alive.
I can't stand The Sound of Music, but that's just me.
I haven't watched that since they made us watch it in school.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Yeah, exactly.
The only movie I remember us make them making us watch, which I do love, is The Outsiders.
I just watched that a couple months ago.
It's a great movie. Did you watch it?
It's just another movie that makes me realize that Ralph Macchio is just an annoying actor.
You don't like Ralph?
He's so annoying. No wonder he got beat up.
Yeah, but have you seen the new series, Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that show.
I still like Johnny better than Macchio.
Oh, Johnny. Johnny is my favorite. I mean, you can't get any better than him. I mean, he is awesome. But you hated him in Karate Kid. You just hated that guy.
Yeah, you did. You did.
But now you love him, and he's just blasting that 80s music all the time, calling everybody Octopussy. No.
Right.
I mean, you that show is great. I like how they wrote that show. So how was your concert? Awesome. I know you said it was awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean it was awesome. It was awesome. But you have to. I mean, obviously you have to like Gordon Lightfoot, or the average person's gonna be like, "Oh, this sucks." You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Did you yell, "Take a break"?
Hell no. It was funny though. It was really funny because Gordon Lightfoot. He's like, I think he's 84 years old, and he's old, man. He's super old. I mean, I give him credit for being out there and being able to still do that. And it was funny, he played, Sundown is one of his big hits, and he played it about, I don't know, like 15 minutes later, some guy from the crowd goes, "Play Sundown."
Oh my gosh, you heard him?
Gordon Lightfoot heard him. And he goes, Gordon Lightfoot goes, "You're one dumb son of a bitch. I already played that song." He's like, you got more, you got more balls than you got brains. Yeah, he just berated the guy in front of everybody.
That's hilarious. That's funny. Is there any final thoughts on Back to the Future that you guys want to add before we end this?
Just that it rocked.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and obviously, probably everybody's seen it. But if you haven't, highly recommended. Go watch it. Go watch it right now.
And can we all agree that when you watch the movie, the power of love will be in your head for days after?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
you know what's crazy? I mean? on a side note is I have the Power of Love 45 that I got when this movie came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have one. I picked one up like last year. It's a longer version of it. It's like 7 minutes. It's like a remix thing on vinyl, and it's different. I mean, it's really cool though.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's amazing that you still have that.
I do.
That is the power of a song in a movie, you know, back then. Just like, I know Lego's no fan of it, but Danger Zone was in my head for days after rewatching Top Gun. So, the power of music.
I like the music. I like Danger Zone back then, you know?
Yeah. I still love it, but I love Kenny Loggins, man. I mean, he's one of those guys like from that time that just could do a song for so many movies. And
I mean, he did Caddyshack, Footloose, Top Gun. Yeah. Amazing.
Hey guys, back in 1994, I went to Universal Studios and got to see the lot that they used for Back to the Future.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of it was set up kind of still,
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You would be amazed how small it really is.
Really?
Yeah, it looks way bigger on film.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the magic of Hollywood, Just, sometimes I don't want to see some of the stuff, because it kind of spoils it. But
I'm always larger on film.
Yeah.
the old running joke from Airplane, Leon's getting larger.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, we got to do that one someday.
We should do Airplane 1 and 2 though together. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I mean, Airplane 2, the first 20 minutes is just. It's just heart-stopping. It's just so
I have not seen that movie probably 35 years.
It's not as good. Obviously, Airplane 1's better overall.
Yeah.
Right.
But the first 20 minutes of Airplane 2 make it worth watching.
Okay, check this out. Because I think they redid something to that movie, the first one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to show my kids that scene in the very beginning where they're in the airport and the guy is walking by and he goes, "Hi, Jack."
Yeah.
And they just ambush him.
Yeah.
They cut it out. I cannot find it anywhere.
What?
I cannot find that
What'd
scene
you watch
in the
it
movie.
on? What'd you watch it on?
I don't know. It might have been Prime or something,
It's the Mandela effect.
Oh. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check my Blu-ray or DVD or whatever and see if they messed with it, because that's the problem with streaming now. They could edit any movie and take whatever they want out.
Jeez.
What if it's not on your Blu-ray?
Well, that could be the problem. Too.
You got to find the VHS, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like I've been looking for the original VHS of Wizard of Oz when that
guy's hanging.
Yeah, and I can't find it anywhere.
I actually, I guess it probably would have been. It would have been in the 90s. So I don't know if it was DVD or no. It was DVD. I watched it on DVD, and the guy was still hanging.
You did?
Yes.
It was on DVD?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it was probably like an early 90s version.
I'll have to look for that then.
Probably one of the first versions they put on DVD, I would guess, because this kid wanted to come over to my house and he wanted to watch Wizard of Oz while listening to Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon at the same time. And it
sounds like a crazy time.
Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
On the third roar of the MGM Lion, right? You push play on the CD player, and for the first run through, of Dark Side of the Moon, it is completely in sync with the movie.
What?
When you play it again the second time, there's certain parts that are in sync with the movie, but the first play is completely in sync with the movie.
Weird.
Who figured that out?
Yeah. Somebody high on dope.
Pink Floyd did.
Oh, man, that's a trip. Well, I'm going to have to check that out. I've been wanting to see that.
So how do you sync the second time?
You as soon as it ends, you stop the movie and you just go ahead and restart the disc and the movie, and it's synced up a few times on the second playthrough.
Wow. Do you guys have black lights when you were watching it going? Lava lamps? Man.
No.
Strobe lights.
So you could, that's a trip. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened on Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. It's a very creepy movie.
Yeah. I mean, the snow that they were using, that came down was mixed with asbestos.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't know it. They threw it all over the place.
Oh.
All over the actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deaths, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
That midget committed suicide on the set, and it got filmed. That's what we were talking about. And they edited it out, the later copies. But I've been wanting to watch the original.
He's like in the distance as they're going down the yellow brick road. And they're doing like I don't know if they're singing or dancing at that point, but like in the background, you see the body drop. And then it's swinging. It's swinging.
Gosh, that's so crazy.
What?
Yeah. It's fascinating. You hear the back story of Wizard of Oz. It's like, it's not a happy-go-lucky film for sure.
Yeah, and all the midgets, they were like perverts. They were like trying to, get
I heard
Judy
that.
Garland's pants and stuff, and they were all drunk and wasted. And
I heard that. That was crazy, man. They were like having crazy parties and stuff.
Well, Steve, you remember that was our play when we did Stage Crew.
Oh, yeah, that was Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I had my little half shirt on.
Yeah.
Hey, half shirts are back in style, but not for men. Thank goodness. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe those half shirts. Oh, gosh.
You had quite a few of those.
I had spandex, half shirts. Oh,
you
my
had
God.
half shirts. You also had sleeveless shirts, too.
Oh, man. It's just.
And crotchless panties.
Yeah. Might as well. Jeez. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah. Well, guys, this has been awesome. Again,
yes.
Everyone that is listening, thank you for listening. This has been another episode of Retro Media Talk. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Anchor FM. Like us on Facebook. We got the page there. All right, guys, you can also find us on YouTube at Craze TV, or you can go to retromediatalk.com and find all the episodes in one spot at retromediatalk.com. All right, guys, thank you for your support and thank you for listening. Now go watch Back to the Future.